In this video, we're going to take a look at Module 56, and we're going to solve the Check Your Understandings multiple choice and then the second free response problem. So check your understanding, there are two problems in this one. CYU number 1 has a couple of parts. For each of the three choices, it gives you a table. It gives you three possible combinations of fixed cost and AVC. And then for each choice, AVC is constant. So that's an interesting option, but okay. For each of the three choices, calculate ATC of producing 12, 22, and 30,000 units, and which choice results in the lowest ATC. So one thing we have to know to do this problem is that ATC is AVC plus AFC. Right? We kind of have to know that part. And we would have to know that TC thus is also VC plus FC. So the easiest way to actually kind of think through this problem, if we're trying to figure out the ATCs, is we actually have to start by figuring out the TCs, the total costs, and then kind of work our way backwards. So if we said 12,000 units, and then what an interesting way to set this one up. 12,000 units times the AVC. The AVC is going to give us the total variable cost. And then we'd say that, and that's true for like 22,000, and then it said 30,000 times the AVC is going to give us the VC values. It's going to give us the VC. So the AVC for choice 1, so like we would say for like choice 1, there's probably a better way for me to set this table up, but the AVC for choice 1 is $1, right? $1. So times $1, times $1, times $1. So variable cost is 12,000, 22,000, and 30,000 for choice 1. And then for choice 1, the fixed cost is just given to you as 8,000, right? It's given in the little table. So so we'd say the total cost for choice 1, 12,000 units, is 20,000. For 22,000 is 30,000, and these are in dollars, and then it's 38,000. So this is like quantity. So for choice 1, then we figure out like ATC, choice 1, ATC is just the total cost divided by the quantity. So the 20,000 divided by 12,000 ends up being $1.67, and then for 22,000, it's the 30,000 divided by the 22,000. So that's going to be like $1.36, and then 38,000 divided by 30,000 is a little bit less than that. That's $1.27. $1.27. So for this one, for each of the quantities. For this one, if they wanted to produce, we can't tell actually which one results in the lowest ATC because we have to do this problem over and over and over again. Okay, I see what we're doing now. Choice 2. So what we're going to do is basically say like, okay, if they wanted to make 12,000 units, should they do choice 1, should they do choice 2, or should they do choice 3? So we're gonna speed this process up a little bit here. 12,000 quantity, 22 quantity, 30,000 quantity, and then AVC, and then that's going to give us the VC plus the fixed cost. Right? So for choice 2, the AVC for this one is 75 cents. 75 cents per unit. So that's going to be what is that? 12,000 times 75,000 is 8,000. I think that sounds right. No, wait a second. That's 9,000. Never mind. A little brain fart there. 9,000. That's a 9. And then 75 cents times that. Now I do have to get my calculator out. I'm going to get lazy on us here. That 75 cents as a quarter. That's 22 times 0.75 is 16.5. 16.5, and then 30 times 0.75 is 22.5. 22.5. So for this one, the fixed cost is given to us as 12. So then the total cost for choice 2 is 21 and 28.50 and 34.50. So then ATCs are 21 divided by 12,000. So that's $1.75. And then the next one, it's going to be 28,500 divided by, so 28,500 divided by 22,000 is $1.30. And for the third one, it's 34,500. That total cost divided by the total product, which is $1.15. Choice 3. Quantity times AVC equals VC plus the FC equals the TC, and then divide by the quantity equals the ATC. So we'll just do this. I'm going to get good at it by the third one. So this one we have 12, 22,000, 30,000, and we're given the AVC as 25 cents. 25 cents. So for this one, you have a little bit much simpler answer here. This is going to be 3,000, and then 22 times that is going to be 5.5, and then 25% of that is just 7.5. Plus the fixed cost, and the fixed cost is the highest for this one at 24, and so 27, 29.5, and I'm having a brain fart. 30 point, no, that doesn't sound right, 31.5. And then we divide by 12, divide by 22, divide by 30. So then we have 27 divided by 12 is 225. 225. And then we have 29.5 divided by 22 is 134. And then we have 31.5 divided by 30 is 105. So now, holy cow, which choice results in the lowest ATC for each one of these quantities? So if you were going to produce 12,000, if you were going to make 12,000, you could do it for $1.67 per, $1.75 per, or $2.25 per. So you would do it for choice 1. So at 12,000, we'd say choice 1. And if you were to do choice 2, 22,000, or sorry, you want to produce 22,000, choice 2 gives you $1.30, and choice 3 gives you $1.34, so you'd prefer choice 2 because it has the least ATC. So 22,000, you'd prefer choice 2. I'm going to kick myself. If this, of course it is. Of course it is. The smallest one goes with 1, the second one goes 2, the third one's with 3. So 30,000 ATC here is $1.27, then $1.15, then $1.05. Right, of course. In other words, we could have just guessed. Well, of course. But thanks for the mental math workout and the calculator workout there. Suppose the firm, which has historically produced 12,000 units, experiences a sharp permanent increase in demand that leads it to produce 22,000. Explain how its ATC will change in the short run and the long run. So if it experiences a sharp permanent increase in demand, and it used to be at 12,000, it would be initially, at, because if they were originally producing 12,000, they would be at this one, in choice 1, with the lowest ATC value. So they would be here, but then when they ramped up production, it would end up reducing the ATCs to $1.36 in the short run, right? Because they couldn't switch choices in the short run. So they'd go from 167 to 136 in the short run. And then in the long run, though, if it was permanent, they would go to the 22,000 one. So they would switch over and get a lower ATC. They would go from this $1.36 one to this 131 because they'd say, let's switch over to choice 2. And so 136 to 130 in the long run. Okay. that. And then C, explain what the firm should do instead if it believes the change in demand is temporary. It should just hold on to that. Like, it should accept this fate, and then when they reduce output back down, they should just stay in choice 1. So, number 2 is, in each of the following cases, explain whether the firm is likely to experience economies or diseconomies and why. An interior design firm in which design projects are based on the expertise of the firm's owner. So for that one, they're likely to experience diseconomies of scale. And the rationale would be that because the costs of kind of communicating and things like that required to implement the owner are probably going to implement the owner's expertise are going to go up. So they really wouldn't benefit from getting larger in that case because they depend on the experience of the owner. So we would say dis because their costs would go up faster than their product would. Faster than TP does. Right. For B, so that's the other way of saying is like ATC would be going up. For B, it says a diamond mining company. For that one, their ATC, they're probably in the economies of scale, because if they increase their inputs, they can likely realize a much larger increase in total product. So we would expect, therefore, a even larger increase. That's my big arrow in outputs. So we'd say ATC would be going down if we got bigger. Marginal costs, multiple choice. Question number 1, in the long run, all of the inputs are variable. Okay, well, that's just true. A. That's kind of helpful. 2, what's this always considered the long run? All of those are time periods, so none. 3, which is true or generally correct? The long run ATC is U-shaped. That is generally correct. The short run ATC is U-shaped. That is generally correct. And firms tend to experience economies of scale at low levels of production and diseconomies of scale at high levels of production. That is also true. So all 3. E. Number 4, when making decisions, what costs should be ignored? We often say that sunk costs should be ignored. Sunk costs are ones that you've already made the expense in. And so we make production decisions based on the marginal costs rather than like our costs that we've already done. This one is one where if you haven't read the section, it can be a little bit tricky to know what those are. 5, economies of scale will allow which of the following types of cities to lower their ATC of clearing snow by investing in larger snowplow fleets. So you would expect that cities with more snow would do that because like you'd lower your ATC of clearing snow by investing in larger snow plows, only if basically the total quantity of cleared snow could increase faster than the change in cost associated with it. So like just because you had more people wouldn't necessarily make the ATC go down. And that's what we're talking about when we say the economies of scale. We're saying ATC would be going down. Cities with more snowplows doesn't deal with it. Larger budgets wouldn't have an effect. Less snowfall would actually make the problem worse, and the ATC would be higher of clearing snow. So the only correct answer is E. And then, last but not least, FRQ numero dos. FRQ number 2. Draw a correctly labeled graph showing a short-run ATC and the corresponding long-run ATC. On your graph, identify economies and diseconomies. Okay. So that one's not too bad. These FRQs are actually kind of easy compared to the check your understandings. That's there. Going back up to that, I'm going to say is an LRATC. And we're going to say that is an ATC or just a short-run ATC. And this is the economies of scale range. And this is the constant returns to scale range. And this is the diseconomies of scale range. So not too bad. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.